Welcome into another Arkansas football recruiting report. We're joined by a very special guest today, recent JUCO commit for the Hogs, offensive lineman Bubba Craig. Bubba, thanks so much for joining the show today.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Bubba, just to start, walk us through, your recruitment to Arkansas coming out of Hutchinson and, what ultimately led you to committing to the Hogs.
So it started last spring. So I was a redshirt at Hutch and went through like all the spring ball and stuff like that. I thought I did. Something was telling me I was doing pretty good. Like I was thinking I'm kind of doing my thing right now. But, I was waiting for stuff to roll in through the spring. I knew I still had that season coming up to play, and that's when I got a call from Coach Mateos, and it was like during that break. So I was at home. So it was after that spring semester. I went home. I woke up to that phone call and then started talking to Coach Mateos from there. They kept in contact throughout the season, and then I finally got to come up there on my for one of the games, and I was like. And I was there. I talked it over with my parents and with my grandma and then my coaches and stuff like that. And everything right there, I was like, I like it. So I'm gonna do.
Yeah, absolutely. We've heard a lot about this coaching staff and just the importance of relationship building. What about the staff stuck out to you and your family and made Arkansas the choice?
They're like I would like to they're kind of they'll tell you like they're not like you can tell like a lot of coaches in like the recruiting process like that you can tell a lot of coaches are like kind of like superficial like they like the but but what I've noticed here like the coaches here like they'll tell you straight up like they're straight up with you stuff like that. You can tell they're being genuine with what they're saying and everything, and I'm just like my family liked it, my coaches liked it, and I was like I like it too.
Obviously, it's unique with Coach Pitman being a head coach and having the offensive line background he does. How much fun is that for you to have a head coach that understands the position so thoroughly?
Yeah, it brings me like it gives me more like confidence in coming in because like it's like he'll understand like what's happening. For like a lot of coaches, like even at Hutch, our offensive line coach is also our offensive coordinator. So he understands most like when he draws up the plays and stuff like that, he knows like in hit with like dealing with personnel wise and how he knows when to put us in and stuff like that. Like having that there, like hey, I could probably talk to the head coach himself about a block that I'm supposed to make or something like that. And it's like, it kind of like more to reinforce you in your position.
And then you, Terrell, Danny, you guys you're making a little bit of a Hutch pipeline to Arkansas here. Just, you guys going to keep that going? It's a nice little thing the Hogs got here.
I mean, if they still want them Hutch boys, they
we had Terrell on the show, I think last year, right, Otis?
Yeah.
And, he was great and all that. Just talk us through your friendship with him and just, how you guys got to know each other and how ultimately that played a little bit of a role when you ended up in Arkansas.
I'm a Bird's a Kansas kid. So when I came into Hutch, he had already been there for like a couple of months because they got to come in. They got to come in a little like to work in. I met Bird. I first he was a running back, so offensive line and running back. So we all usually close. So on the team, I always saw Bird around. I would always hang. I would talk to him all the time and stuff like that. Even Danny was a D lineman. So and I was on the scout team, so I was blocking them during practice. So like it was mainly like, hey, like everybody had a relationship already. I get here on the visit and stuff like that. I see him. I'm talking to him, stuff like that. I'm just like, hey,
Man, Danny's a big guy. What blocking him? How hard is that?
It's not easy. every day we just had to come in because our whole front four that year of my redshirt year there, they were all just across the board. I think they're all probably at the P4 level right now. And that whole like just coming in every day, just I ain't getting beat every day, like just you got to just deal with that for a little bit till you finally get to where you can like you're matching them at that point. You're just like, hey, now you're getting better.
That's awesome. I'll have a couple more later, but Otis, I'll turn it over to you.
Hey, do you have another game left at Hutchinson? A bowl game?
Yeah, we should have 2 more games left because we're starting our playoffs. And okay. So we don't play next Saturday, but the Saturday after that, that's our semifinal game. And if we win that, we go to the Natty.
Okay, and the semifinal game, will it be at Hutchinson?
Yeah, it'll be in Hutch.
Okay. I might try to get up to that because Arkansas won't be playing that day. Saturday's this coming Saturday is their last game. You obviously know that, though. When do you get to Arkansas?
I didn't enroll in January. That's when I chose.
Okay. So you're going to go through. They're recruiting you to play tackle, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know people have talked about you and maybe Carmona, allowing some of these other guys, maybe some of these guys more comfortable inside to move inside with you and Carmona out there at the tackle spots and stuff, if assuming Carmona comes back and everything. I know he's got a decision to make on the NFL and stuff. Okay, for anyone who hasn't seen you play, what are your strengths, man? What do you do well? Tyrell really built you up to me last spring during that process. He told me he's coming to Arkansas. But just tell me, what do you do well, man?
I like to think of myself as like I really think I'm a run blocker for real. So like what I like to do is make sure when I know I got my guy in my assignment, I just make sure I'm getting him out the way. Like that's just what I lock into. So like I guess you could say like, I'm good at movement. Like I move people.
Yesterday, I think you came down for the Ole Miss game on the first visit. Is that right? Okay. And yesterday you were here. What'd you see yesterday that impressed you? I mean, they came out a little slow out of the gate, but then they took control of the game and really had control. Once they scored, they pretty much had control. What impressed you about the game yesterday? Did anyone catch your eye on the offensive line?
On the offensive line, I like their right tackle. Their right tackle, he was really holding his own out there. Like I like how, like when I think it really just took that first quarter to really get everybody together. And like once that happened, I just seen it. I was like, yeah, they're playing together. They're making holes. They're doing their thing.
Heck, actually, that's pretty good defense. They played everybody they played. They put pretty good defensive showing up against. When you how valuable do you feel like it will be for you to go through spring ball here at Arkansas as far as getting on the field next fall?
I think spring ball. I think the spring ball really would. Like I think it's really important that I get there for spring ball, so I can start to work and then show my strengths, and so I can be able to work in with the rest of the team already.
How I've seen the roster up there, I believe, has you 6'6", 312. I've seen you listed 6'8", 320 by the recruiting service. What is your size, Bubba?
I'm 6'7", and I think now I weigh about. I probably, if I got on the scale right now, I'd probably be about 312, 315 probably.
Okay. Pretty good size for a kid. I know you got good feet and footwork and everything. I've seen film of you, obviously, and you just have you talked to Bobby Petrino any? I mean, did you get to meet him or just discuss anything with him? The offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him much, but I've seen him around when I'm there.
He's a very successful head coach at a lot of schools and stuff, and even coached the Atlanta Falcons in the NFL, for a while. Do you feel like the future's pretty bright for Arkansas? I mean, they've been up, but they've been down. But then they beat Tennessee, with number 4 team in the country. Then, and they played a lot of close games. Really, the Ole Miss game is the one that got away from them. The other games, even LSU was a six-point game with 5 minutes left in the third quarter. So only the Ole Miss game got away from them. But do you feel like the future is pretty bright for this program?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like the future. I feel like there's guys at every position. I feel like there's a lot of room to work, a lot of room to improve too, and that's really sometimes all you need. Really a good off season, and then ready to shoot off for the next one. I really think the sky's the limit for real.
All right. Just what is Tyrell loving here? You like
Yeah.
it? I mean, I know he'd love to be playing a lot, but I mean, he's new and stuff.
Yeah, I was with him yesterday. Actually, it was a great time. He likes it.
How many years do you have left to play? Is it 3 to play 3? Is that right?
Yeah, I'm 3 for 3.
Yeah, okay. We got mixed up there for a while with the COVID years. Everybody was getting extra years, but you came in after that. So it'll be back, kind of getting back to normal now. So you said you redshirted, then played. I don't think we asked you this. If we did, I'm sorry. How do you feel like your season there went for you? I know the team's still. I think they're 9-1, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel like the season went for you though?
I think I had a pretty good season. I ended up grading. I grade out pretty good every week, so it's just I think I had a pretty good season.
What what obviously pretty good recruiters and stuff, but what leads to Hutch having so much success each year?
It's the coaches. Like the coaches, like they're hard. They're hard. They're getting on you, but at the same time, you can tell like they really care about you still. So it's like the relationships we have with our coaches at Hutch, even like the relationships we have with each other, like as teammates, like you could tell like when we'll get transfers from other JUCOs and even some from we get like bounce backs and everything. Like they tell us, like they'll tell us straight up, like, yeah, it's like it's different. Like it's different here. Like when they get here at Hutch, they tell us it's different. Like it's a different environment kind of. And I think that's what leads to so much success.
Do you feel like that the Arkansas program is something that you can? I mean, I know there was an adjustment from high school to junior college. There's going to be an adjustment from junior college to SEC, obviously. Do you feel like you can make the adjustment pretty fast?
Yeah, I've always been like I've always been, I'll say, a fast learner, I would say, and that's what usually helps me out sometimes. So I mean, that's why I'm so excited to get there in the spring, so I can make that adjustment during the spring, and I won't be behind coming up through fall camp.
Yeah. Do you feel like how big adjustment was it from high school to junior college? We always talk to kids about high school to Arkansas, but how big adjustment was it for you from high school to Hutchinson?
Huge. Like it was even a huge jump. Like it was just you come in. Like I came in. I went to like a small school. It was like a 3A. I went to like a 3A private school like back home, and it's like the competition. Like I mean, it wasn't really like all that. Like but so I come to Hutch, instantly get out there with the other guys, and it's like, oh my goodness, like because it's not just like we got bounce backs and stuff, and like say Danny's up there on the line. Danny was committed to Oklahoma. Yeah, Danny was already committed to Oklahoma when we first got there. We got a lot of 3-year. There was like a lot of 3-year guys and everything. Like we're blocking and going against people that are like either bounce backs or like at the about ready to leave and go up to the next level already. And it's just like I just came from high school, you know.
You know Amari Wiggins very much, the center from Coffeyville, who's at Arkansas now.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, he's at Arkansas. He played at Coffeyville, the Red Ravens up there, and so I didn't know if you had a relationship with him or not. That's probably most of mine, Jacob. You got some questions? Go ahead with.
Yeah, I'll hop back in real quick. I'm curious to continue kind of on the just when a lot of people think JUCO and they don't really know what to think, but just how much at a place like Hutchinson, like you're talking about, when you get there and you're scout teaming against guys that are all going to end up at Power 4 spots, how much do you guys push each other and make each other better in a program like that?
A lot. Like that's like another thing with like our team, like how close we are together as a team, like with each other. It's like, yeah, like I say I get beat on a rep in practice. I might see you at the calf or something. I'm like, hey, you got me today, but like, hey, that's not gonna happen again. Like, you know, a little friendly back and forth, how that goes. And like when you have that every day, it's like you're gonna be pushing each other to get better.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned Coach Mateos during your recruiting process. He's come in and just done a fantastic job recruiting, coaching here at Arkansas. With him specifically, what did your conversations look like and what made him appealing as an offensive line coach?
Whenever we really talk, I would say I'd say a lot of the times it wasn't even like about football. I would say like I would talk to him about he's a big UFC guy. He told me about we would always talk about like the UFC fights. And I specifically remember I was like, it was the one I think it was UFC, like I think it was 303 when they had them at the Spear and I remember I seen it. I was watching it with some of my other teammates, and I was like, oh, I wonder if he's there because I didn't think they had a game. And then I texted, and I was like, someone told me to text him, like, I'm gonna see if he's there. And then we just started talking about the fight, and I was just like, oh wow, like, so this is like he's like a cool down there guy, you know. It's like I'm not just looking at him as a coach, like I'm looking at him as like someone I can like have a relationship with, like off the field, kind of, you know.
Yeah, and you're a Fort Wayne kid, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm from South Bend, Indiana. So I'm going to take this off the rails for 1 second. I got to ask you, what's your favorite thing about being from Indiana? There's not a lot of Indiana people down here in Arkansas. It makes two of us.
Favorite thing about Indiana?
Corn?
About it.
Yeah, you know, it's an acquired taste, you know. It happens. Otis, you got anything else before we go?
No, I just appreciate him. I appreciate Bubba so much for coming on here. He's going to be a big addition to this Razorback football team and program. And I know they were elated to get him. And I hope fans, I don't think really realize yet just how much this kid's going to help Arkansas. He's really a good ball player, and he is legit. I walked by him yesterday at the game before the game, and his size is legit. I didn't know if it's 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", but I wouldn't argue with any of that. So, but thank you for coming on, man. I really appreciate you, big guy.
Thank you. No problem. Thanks for having me.